So here we have a pre-owned 2016 Chevy Sonic 5-door. This one comes in the RS trim level. Bright yellow is the paint. And then we have jet black simulated suede and leatherette interior. The powertrain consists of a 1.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. As we come around to the front end here, halogen headlamps and fog lights. But I really like the front fascia here. It's a really cool design. They just did a really good job with this car, making it look sporty, making it look cool for the people that might be wanting a vehicle in this segment. Now down here to these wheels, these are going to be 17-inch aluminum, like that design. And then the door panel here, power door lock controls, power mirror controls. We have one touch up and down the driver's side window, and then the regular windows are on the other 3 doors. Rear window lockout there. Headlamp controls, click this button for the fog lights. Hood release. And there are the pedals. We get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our driver's seat. That's gonna be a manual 6-way, so we can pump the seat up or down, adjust the seat back, and then the seat bottom right there. But I wanna give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so I kind of made it a tight squeeze too. So even then, not the most ample space back here, but for what kind of car it is, not terrible. Seat back pocket on the passenger seat. You have a bottle holder down there. And then you can actually set this light in the back to open or to be on or off with the doors, which is cool to have its kind of own separate thing going on. But grab handle here, and you can hang a shirt or a pair of pants on that if you need to. Now for a big boy like myself, probably wouldn't be sitting in that back seat, but it's doable. There's look at the back end again, just a really cool looking car when you see one, even today. There's your exhaust. Look underneath. And then with it being a hatchback, just hit the release there. And then top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves if you need those for the car seat. And then should be a spare. I can get this up. There's a spare right there. The fuel caps here. And if you want to fold these seats flat, push in here, and then you can run longer objects through to the front, or even wider objects, honestly. It's one of the pluses of a hatchback. And then pretty easy, just make sure the seat belt's out the way, and you can use that there to get it back into place. Front passenger seats, manual 4-way. And then you have your traditional glove compartment down here, and then you have your top pocket up here that has your aux input and your USB-A port there. And as we come back around to the front, there's that 1.4 turbo 4-cylinder. And before we hop in, I'm just gonna show off the blinkers. But next, let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So I really like the RS steering wheel. Relatively thick padding, I think. Love the badging, the flat bottom feel. There's the horn. You have a little tray up here. Space here on either side, which is really neat. I actually like how they did that. Perfect to fit your iPod Touch in while it's plugged in there. But for the audio, we do get AM, FM, XM, and then Bluetooth along with that aux and USB drive there. And then you also have the Pandora, Stitcher, all of that from back in the day. Presets, if you want to set that up, you can just hold down below there and it'll set up that way. Volume is here. This was always kind of annoying, but it was always nice to do that. But just using a little tap there, it would take you forever. If I can get back there. And the touchscreen was always just, Once you get used to it, I mean, it's not a terrible system. It's really, again, it's neat for what it is, but just had a few bugs. Vehicle settings are there. And then your language can be changed right there. And then you could just turn the system on or off that way. Backup camera here. And then down below you had your hazards, power door lock controls. You had your single zone manual climate controls, but you also had heated seats, which was nice. And you could change fan direction with that knob, fan speed with that one. And then for the shifter, hit the brake, pull down, reverse, neutral, drive. And you have the manual mode, which you could use this button on the side to go through that. Traction control, you could toggle that on or off. 12-volt handbrake, 2 bottle holders there. There's a look at the back seat from up here. And then your sunroof right there. So you did have to hold it, but it would go all the way behind that cover there. I think this is under 10 grand. So I mean, for it to have 90,000 miles, not bad. Blinkers are over here, high beams, and your intermittent wipers, one time off, intermittent low, high. You can actually adjust the intermittent frequency here, and then you had your rear wiper, kind of a toggle on the side. And then push back for the rear fluid, pull up for the front fluid. But over here, cruise control, turn that on, off, set your speed, cancel. And then you had your mute, voice recognition, and then in the Bluetooth menu, you could use these as Bluetooth buttons. And then you could go through track list, radio station presets there, and then change your source there. And then volume could be adjusted right in there. And then you could use this menu button and you could go through options, and then you could kind of toggle this to go through the different, depending on what you were doing, you could go through the different options you had. And there, if you look through there, is the key in the ignition, and you did get remote start as well. And then one other thing, there are your lights. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2016 Sonic RS hatchback out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Chevy Sonic RS, it's a Chevy Sonic, right? So it's a 5-door hatchback RS. Not necessarily meant to be fast or quick, but it's got a little pep in its step with a 1.4 turbocharged 4-cylinder. But it's pretty fun to drive, honestly. We're gonna test out this manual mode really quickly. Oh my gosh, the guy in a scooter. I have never seen that out here. I'm gonna put in the manual mode here. Here we go. And I will say, I like how the gears are set up there. It really does, especially in that 5th and 6th, when you start running it. You just want to keep pushing and pushing it to that red line point. And again, it's actually a really fun car. I wouldn't call it fast, wouldn't even call it quick, but it's fun to drive. And that's what you want in a car like this. It's not a GR Corolla, it's not a Golf R, but it's one of those things that you can soup up a little bit if you do it right. But it's a looker. Even for this to be a 2016, halogen headlamps, incandescent bulbs in the taillights. I mean, you could swap those out if you wanted to, but when you see this driving around, it's like nothing you've ever seen. And when they first came out, it had that same attention, you know, like, what is that? That looks weird. I kind of like it. And that's what this gives off. That's the kind of vibe I get from it. But I mean, the ride quality is decent for this to be a small hatchback. Road noise not really noticeable, but it's a Chevy Sonic, so it's not gonna ride like a Mercedes. It's not gonna drive like a BMW, but this is a car that's priced under 10 grand, and I think not a bad price for that. I do want to give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro once again for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get to the best price on this or whatever used vehicle you might be interested in. Now, I do think this has a place in history. I remember seeing these in, I think it was Transformers. They had the Chevy Sonic, and the car looks so cool there. It still has that same factor here. This is still a really neat car, even with it being 10 years old. In this bright yellow, it attracts attention. The looks are just wonky, but not in a bad way. It's kind of like, well, that's interesting. And I kind of like that about this car. Again, it's fun to drive. It's relatively fuel efficient, and it's something about it. And again, it's not a GR Corolla, it's not a Golf R, it's not one of those 4-cylinder hatchbacks that'll smoke a V8, but again, it has that fuel efficiency aspect. It's neat, and even though it isn't fast, it's still fun to drive. Now I'm gonna just be quiet for a second so y'all can kind of hear the car. Try to give it a few pulls here. So the car itself, I mean, 90,000 miles on it. And what year is it? Yeah, this actually gets a lifetime powertrain warranty on it. So if you're worried about anything like that, like how it's driven before or things you might have seen on the internet, as long as you keep up with the maintenance on this car and you buy it here at Chevrolet Buick GMC Murfreesboro, you'll be covered for however long you have the vehicle for whatever catastrophic failures may occur when it comes to the engine, transmission, and the transaxles there. So it's a pretty good warranty that's included with the purchase of the vehicle. But I think, again, it's a fun car for the money. It's a cool car for the money. It's relatively practical as a commuter. And it's kind of cool to look at. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2016 Chevy Sonic hatchback in the RS trim level.